Midterm review, problem number 2. Problem number 2 is asking us to consider the frequency table and estimate the mean and the standard deviation. Well, unfortunately, there's a formula for estimating the mean and standard deviation is quite difficult. And in your textbook, on page 90, we have the formula for finding the mean for a frequency table, and then we actually also have a formula for finding the standard deviation from a frequency table. But what we're going to do instead of doing that is to use our calculators. And for us to be able to use our calculators, we're going to get this set up so that we're going to have two lists. The second list is going to be your frequencies, and that's going to be found in L2. The first list, so we can't just put in the values for X, or the values that are given here for our list. So what we're going to need to do is find representatives for each of these classes to put in our list. And that's what these X's are for in the formulas. So instead of hours, we're going to have X represent our, the representatives will be the class midpoints. And if you recall how to find the class midpoints, you take the lower class limit and the upper class limit and find the average between them. And so the first class representative, the class midpoint would be 3. Now you can go on and do the same thing for the rest of them. Or if you notice that the class width is going to be the difference between two consecutive lower class limits or the difference between two consecutive upper class limits, and we see that it's 7. So 7 minus 0, or 20 minus 13, or 28 minus 21, that's all equal to 7. Which means if you have the first class midpoint, you can add 7 to that to get the second class midpoint, and 7 to that to get the second class, the third class midpoint, etc. So if you just keep adding 7, and we have one more, these would be our class representatives. So using the same frequencies that we've had, we'll punch those into the calculator. And once we got them punched into our calculator, we simply go to stat, do calc, a 1 var stats, and we're going to do 1 var stats on L1, comma, L2. And then we'll hit enter. And so it looks like the average should be 18, or our mean should be 18, and then the standard deviation. Remember to call out the correct standard deviation, and so the standard deviation we're looking for is 8.08. So we'll say X bar is equal to 18.55 or 18.6, and our standard deviation is 8.08 or 8.1. Okay, that's problem number 2.